They thought they were fixing a dream home, but every sound awakened something buried in its walls. When Ethan and Kara bought the abandoned house on the outskirts of Ohio, they were ready to rebuild their future. But from the first hammer strike, the house screamed, not creaked, not echoed, screamed. The walls cried like a trapped woman begging to be freed. Every nail driven in made her voice louder, angrier. At night, they heard sobbing from the pipes and whispers from the vents. When they uncovered an old newspaper hidden behind the drywall, they discovered the house's horrifying pastor woman had been sealed alive inside. But she wasn't just haunting the house. She was trying to get out, and the only way to stop her was to finish what the murderer started. Ethan and Kara Martin had been searching for an affordable home for months. When they found the old colonial house in rural Ohio, they couldn't believe their luck. It was big, cheap, and came with a yard surrounded by woods. The realtor mentioned it had been vacant for years, but the couple saw only potential. On the first day of renovation, Ethan swung a hammer into a cracked section of the wall. The sound that came back wasn't wood splintering, it was a scream, high-pitched, echoing, and horribly human. Kara froze mid-paint stroke. "Did you hear that?" she whispered. Ethan forced a laugh, blaming old pipes or bad acoustics, but deep down, his skin prickled. That night, they both dreamed of the same thing, a woman with bleeding eyes pressing her palms against a wall, her mouth open in a silent scream. The next morning, Kara found claw marks behind the peeling wallpaper, deep, human-sized scratches. "Maybe kids," Ethan said nervously. But as he tried to patch a crack, the house groaned again. A low guttural sound vibrated through the studs. The hammer slipped from his hand. Over the next few days, the noises grew worse. Every time they repaired something, the walls shrieked. The house almost seemed alive, fighting back. When Kara tried to replace an old mirror, the reflection behind her wasn't hers, it was a pale woman's face screaming silently. Ethan found old photographs in the attic. A family stood smiling in front of the same house, but one picture showed a woman half-fated, like she had been scratched out of existence. On the back was a date, 1974. That night, as the couple argued about leaving, the lights flickered and the temperature dropped. From inside the walls came the muffled sound of sobbing. Kara pressed her ear against the drywall, whispering, "Hello." A faint voice answered, "Let me out." The next morning, Ethan ripped open a section of wall near the living room fireplace. Behind it lay an old newspaper article wrapped in cloth. The headline read, "Wife missing, local builder accused of sealing her alive." The builder's name, Arthur Craner, original owner of the house. The story claimed he murdered his wife, Helen, after she tried to leave him, hiding her body within the walls during construction. Ethan's stomach churned. "We need to stop," he told Kara, but she was fixated. What if she's still here? What if she wants to be found? That night, Kara followed the voice calling her name into the basement. It grew louder, desperate, like someone screaming through concrete. She dug near the foundation with trembling hands. The air turned icy. Suddenly, her fingers hit something softer, a strand of hair, then a skull. A wave of screams erupted through the house. Doors slammed shut, windows shattered. Ethan rushed downstairs and found Kara on her knees, shaking, whispering, "She's here. She's angry." The floorboards began to rattle, the walls pulsing like they were breathing. From the cracks, dark liquid oozed out, blood. The entire house seemed to be wailing. Then, through the flickering light, the figure of a woman formed, her skin gray, her eyes hollow. "He buried me alive," she hissed, her voice blending with the creaking of the house itself. Ethan grabbed Kara's hand and ran for the door, but it slammed shut. The woman's form twisted, stretching across the walls, her mouth opening wider than humanly possible. "You woke me," she screamed. "Now you'll stay with me." The couple was found 2 days later by a sheriff responding to noise complaints. The house was empty except for tools scattered across the floor and 2 new voices recorded on a neighbor's phone, screaming from inside. Weeks later, another family bought the property. On the first day of their renovation, they swung a hammer into the wall, and the house screamed again.